All right, we got Shaun OHara from NFL Network here at TCO Performance Center for another Vikings camp practice. And Shaun, we were talking off camera. This is going to be an exciting year for the Vikings, but for fans who are trying to figure out why this would be a better year than years previous, what would be your insights on that?
Yeah, well, I think this offense is very friendly, not just for the offensive line, but I think, for a guy like Dalvin Cook, who does a great job getting the perimeter, and with the explosive guys on the outside with Jefferson and Thielen, you're going to see a lot of explosive plays. Now, it's funny because contrary to public belief, the Vikings have actually been really good with big plays, and Kirk Cousins has been a big part of that. So I think they're going to see some more of that. I will say this. I just hope for Vikings fans that it's not the cardiac kids again. Last year, it seemed like every week, every game was coming down to the wire. It was a field goal as time was expiring, or somebody had to throw a touchdown at the end of the game. So, hopefully it's not that stressing on Skull Nation. But I think when you look at this offense and when you look at, number one, the talent at the skill position, I think that's something that's really going to translate with what Kevin O'Connell's trying to do. And I think Kurt is already embracing that. But I really feel like this offensive scheme is very O-line friendly. And the reason why is because as offensive linemen, there's two ways to run the football. We could just run power football where we're just going to knock you off the ball, which if you're going to do that, you better have some horses. You better have some 330-pound hogs. Or you can just get the defense running. And it's a lot easier once you get the defensive lineman moving, get them going laterally with these outside zone plays. Once they get going lateral, it's a lot easier to push them vertically. So I think that's a very friendly run game, and it helps out in the play-action passing game as well.
Who does that benefit? Just speaking of offensive linemen, you played in the NFL for 11 years, played center, but who does that benefit most on the offensive line with this right guard position battle between Jesse Davis, Chris Reed, and Wyatt Davis? Does that benefit the veteran over the rookie or the young guy, or kind of a hybrid guy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'll always give the edge to the veteran guy because, mentally he's probably a little more aware and going to have fewer unforced errors. But I think ultimately it's going to go down to who's the more athletic guard, because if you're talking about trying to move things vertically, outside zones, inside zones, a lot of play actions, a lot of bootlegs, getting up to the second level is a big part of that. It's that athletic guard that's going to win out. Same thing with the center. If you've got an athletic center, which you do in Garrett Bradbury, coming out of college when he was getting drafted, his biggest forte was his ability to reach defenders. So now when you're running that outside zone scheme, that's going to be a big part of it. I think it'll be much friendlier for Garrett Bradbury, and then also for those guards. Whoever could show that, look, I can punch the defensive lineman to get up to the second level and maintain a block, that athleticism, that's who's going to end up getting the job.
Defensively, there's still a lot of jobs open there. We, attacked it in free agency, attacked it in the draft, but still you say, okay, there's some question marks because some of those guys like Zadarius Smith, they haven't been healthy the past couple of years, Daniil Hunter. So do you think the Vikings have enough on defense to be better than last year?
Well, I do think that bringing in Zadarius Smith gives them two bookend guys. Obviously, Daniil Hunter, he wants to stay healthy. Zadarius wants to be healthy too. He battled a back injury last year. But I think just the synergy that they have together, I think that's going to be helpful. Obviously, the two young corners, they could certainly, any corner will tell you a great pass rush makes them look good. So they've got to find a way to work together. But, I think it's funny because football, everybody kind of dissects it as offense and defense. But when you go back to the team mindset, when your offense is humming and your offense is clicking, your defense plays with a totally different confidence and a different swagger. If your defense is out there and your offense is going 3 and out, they force the offense to punt, and they're not even done with their Gatorade and they're already back on the field. You start getting some side eye from the defense, and they're kind of like, hey boys, y'all coming to work today or what? What are we doing? So there's a lot of there's a lot of synergy between the offensive and the defensive players. And look, there's some games when one side of the ball is struggling, and you say, all right, we got to step it up. But I think the ability for this offense to flourish and to score points is going to help out the defense as well.
My last question for you, because Kevin O'Connell, first-year head coach, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, first-year general manager. We've seen stories in the NFL where first-year head coaches have success. We've also seen stories where they don't. What should be realistic expectations for this new regime here in Minnesota?
Yeah, expectations are always high. I think look, Kevin O'Connell and the general manager will tell you, we don't get a pass. Just because we're new doesn't mean teams are going to take it easy on us. So they know, and they've got expectations. Look, this is a playoff caliber team. Talent-wise, they have it. So I think anything less than that would be a disappointment. obviously the division is I think it's a two-team race right now. Look, we know it's Vikings Packers, so I think those two games and look, how great is it that they get to start off week one. Don't worry, Aaron Rodgers is not going to take it easy on any team, and certainly not the Vikings. But I think the expectation is, look, with Kevin O'Connell coming, he just got a ring.
Yeah.
He knows what championship culture is, and there is no, hey, look, it's okay for us to flop around in the first 8 weeks as long as we look good in the second half of the season. So I think his standard of excellence, it's at the championship level, and I think that expectation will carry over to the team.
I hope so. Hopefully they get off to a hot start, because I'm burning up in this shirt. There's no simile to that, but at the same time, hopefully this team will have a really good start.
I see smoke coming off your shoulder. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Shaun.
All right, thanks.